everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very exciting review because I have the new Charlotte Tilbury highlight here in front of me. It's no secret that I love Charlotte Tilbury. I love her highlighters that she comes out with especially. So I was very excited to get my hands on this. I ordered it before it launched because I was just so excited. I couldn't contain myself and it just looked stunning, and it is stunning, spoiler. So I will be sharing some swatches with you today. I do only have one of the shades, but I have compared swatches to the other Charlotte Tilbury highlights I have in my collection. So I'm hoping that those comparisons will be helpful if you also have a couple of other Charlotte Tilbury highlights knocking about in your collection. I've also shown what the product looks like on the cheeks as well as all of the other kind of little details that you might need to know. I hope that you enjoy. If you do, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And if you want to hear my thoughts on the new Charlotte Tilbury Glow Glide highlighter, then just keep watching. So I have already done my base and my eyebrows, and I've also put a bit of bronzer and blush on as well. I tried not to use super glowy illuminating products because I did want to see what the highlight can do just on its own without having any additional highlighters or illuminators kind of layered underneath. So this is the Unicarton, that's upside down. This is the Unicarton, your classic Charlotte Tilbury Rose Gold. It does have a glow guide on the front, if you can see. So it shows you where to apply the highlight. I would imagine you would throw this away after the first use anyway, so I'm not sure how handy that will be, but it is there if you need it as a kind of quick reference point. You also have the ingredients on the back, and it's made in Italy. So the shade that I picked up is Champagne Glow. I believe there are 7 different shades. So this is what the packaging looks like. Very similar, or I think it's the same really, as the airbrush powder, but it has a bit more of a design on the front. So it has quite a nice star design on the front, which is very on brand for Charlotte. And you open it up and this is the product inside. Really nice. It has lovely star embossing as well to match the outer component, which is a really nice touch, I think. And again, I have the shade Champagne Glow. So there are 7 shades in this lineup, which I think is a really nice range for a highlighter. Often we see maybe 3 or 4 different shades being released. So I really like that she's gone for 7, and hopefully maybe we might see that expand as well over the next few years. I chose the shade Champagne Glow because it looks very similar to the highlight that's in the Film Star Bronzing Glow from Charlotte, which is one of my all-time favorite highlighters. I absolutely love it. So I picked up Champagne Glow because it looked to be fairly similar, at least from what I could tell from swatches online. So I believe this is available at most retailers now where you can shop Charlotte Tilbury, and it will cost you £38. So it's not a cheap product, definitely not. For me, highlighters are not a product I go through very quickly. Though looking at the state of the highlighter in here, might be contradicting myself just a little bit there. But typically I don't go through highlighters quickly. So for me, spending a bit more is worth it because I know it's not something I'm going to be repurchasing every few months. So I pulled out my Beauty Light wand, my Film Star Bronzing Glow as well, so that I can do a bit of a comparison for you. I figured if you are a Charlotte Tilbury fan, you might already have one of these 2 laying around in your collection already. So I did want to do a side-by-side comparison to hopefully help you with your purchasing decision if you are interested in this one. So I'm going to start by swatching the new Glow Glide Powder Highlight. So already what's being picked up on my finger looks absolutely stunning. I'm going to turn my lights down whilst I do the swatches so that you can actually see and it's not so blown out. Obviously highlights are not always the easiest thing to see on camera because it does kind of blend into my skin tone there, but it's a really nice golden champagne shade. It almost has a peachy undertone to it, which is quite common for Charlotte and her products. She does love a peachy pink glow. So yeah, it looks really nice, really smooth, really buttery. So I'm gonna now dip into the highlight that's in the Film Star Bronzing Glow. As you can see, this is very well loved from me. And the highlight in here is one of my all-time favorites. So I'm excited to see if this is gonna be a good alternative. So this one here is from the Film Star Bronzing Glow, and then this is the new one. So yeah, they look very similar. This bottom one looks slightly warmer perhaps, but I don't know if it's just the way the light's hitting it because they do look very similar. And then lastly, I'm going to swatch it next to the Beauty Light wand in Spotlight. Again, this is another champagne toned highlight. So the top one there, oh my gosh, that looks so metallic, doesn't it? Compared to the powders, my goodness, okay. So the top one there is the Beauty Light wand. So as the three of them swatched together, I mean, if you want a metallic glow, Jesus, this top one, the Beauty Light wand, is really the one that you have to go for. But the powders are really nice as well. Very finely milled, very smooth. But I can't stop looking at the Beauty Light wand, if I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to keep my lighting like this, I think. You should hopefully be able to see the swatch on the cheeks quite nicely, I think, hopefully. So as you saw from the swatches, the three products side by side are very similar in tone, but the impact and the metallic strobe that you get from the liquid Beauty Light wand is definitely a little bit more intense, as you saw. Really, really beautiful. But if you are looking for this beauty right here, without having to spend £50 or £60 on this duo, then so far, this is basically that. So I'm happy. Okay, so let's actually apply this to the face now. I have got my MAC, what is this called? 188 brush, which is what I use for all of my powder highlights. I really like it, it's very fluffy, picks up a nice amount of product and diffuses it really nicely across the cheeks. So I'm just gonna kind of swirl my brush in. There's not a lot of kickback actually, which is nice. Let's scoot in a bit closer for this, shall we? So I do already have a bit of glow going on, but I put that down to my skincare and primer. Ooh, okay. Yeah, she is glowing for sure. I feel like it definitely has a bit more peachiness to it, a bit more warmth, whereas the Film Star Bronze and Glow highlight for me is a bit more neutral. I think this shade is a tiny bit more flattering, but this is still really, really nice. But it's just a bit peachier. And like all Charlotte's powder products, they just melt into the skin really beautifully. There's no obvious chunks of glitter or shimmer, and they just glide on really nicely. Okay. So I'm gonna take a little bit more and go my Cupid's bow, kind of just under my brows. I feel like with this formula, you can really build it up as well, and it's not going to look cakey, it's not gonna look chalky on the skin. It's very buttery, very, very smooth. Oh, I'm so happy that this has worked out well, and that the shade I picked up is very similar to the one in the Film Star Bronze and Glow. Also, if you were looking for a powder alternative to the Beauty Light wand, the shade Champagne Glow is a really good match for Spotlight. So just something to bear in mind as well. So I'm going to do the rest of my eye makeup and put on a lip as well. I might just do that on camera, speed it up while we're here, and then I will come back and do my final thoughts. So I've just finished the rest of my makeup. I will link everything I've used down below. And as you saw, I applied a bit of setting spray, and then I went in with another layer of the highlight. And yeah, safe to say it's definitely very glowy, really nice. But I love Charlotte's formulas because you can use a slightly softer, fluffier brush and you'll get a lighter application, or you can really go in and layer and build, and you get this such a lovely strobe across the cheeks, but it's not packed full of glitter or shimmer or chunky or anything like that. It's still incredibly smooth and very buttery. So for £38, this is not a cheap product, but I do think that the formula is definitely there. It's what I expected from her line, and being an avid Charlotte Tilbury highlight user, I did have very high expectations, and for me this has met those. Highlighter is not a product I buy very often, so I'm okay with splurging a little bit more every now and then to pick up a really, really special one. And I do think that this one fits the bill. For me, my kind of aim was to find a highlight that was very similar to the highlight that you can find in the Film Star Bronzing Glow, because that's one of my all-time favorite products. So I am very, very happy to have this in my life, because I'd much rather pay £38 than £56. I know you're getting 2 products in there, but I have other bronzers and other contour products that I really like and I have in my collection and I'm happy to use up. So I'm happy that this can replace the Film Star Bronzing Glow duo for me. So I really hope that you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're not already. And do let me know down below if you pick up one of the new Charlotte Tilbury highlights, what shade you got, if you're really enjoying it. If you're not enjoying it, let me know down below, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.